What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JD, and today we got the Torch Factory tutorial. Let's get right into it. This is the Torch Factory. It makes torches from logs and coal blocks. So those would be the inputs. You can modify these inputs to be sticks and just regular old coal, but we won't get into that for this video. It has all the item protections, so if it runs out of ingredients or this chest fills up, it will stop crafting and you will not have any item loss. It is very small. It's about 5 wide by 10 long and about 10 high. So clear out that area in your world. So it's 5 by 10 by 10. Alright. And we're going to get right into the tutorial. So, find the area that you want to build in this thing in your world. And start off by placing some solid blocks. I'm going to go ahead and get my inventory ready. And everything that you see in my inventory, you're going to need some of. Some more or less than others. You only need one observer. You only need, I don't know, like 5 redstone lamps. You only need 3 crafters. And you only need about 10 hoppers. You need definitely some solid blocks, definitely some glass, a stack of those. Alright, let's get right into it. Figure out where you want the front of your machine to be. Let me just set this up. Alright. I got everything in my inventory that I need. This is what you'll need in your hotbar to start. This is the front of my machine, so I'm going to come around to the back and I'm going to place 2 crafters. And I want those crafters to be facing up with their mouths facing up. Then I'm going to come down here and we're going to place a crafter facing into that crafter, just like that. So you should have something looking like this. Alright, place the solid block here, place a crafter on top of that solid block, and then hoppers going into either side of this crafter. You should have something looking like this right here. Alright, we're making good progress here. Come around to the back, place a solid block, and break this temporary block and place a temporary block, and we're just going to make a little torch tower. Make this little torch tower and come down here on the bottom, place a solid block, break that solid block, place another torch, and all we're doing is we're building up the main clock. This is the main clock for the system. We're going to get our glass blocks. We're going to place glass block up against that torch and another glass block, followed by a temporary solid block and a solid block. Break the temporary block, come underneath, place a temporary block and 2 pieces of glass. And what we're going to do here is we're going to get our repeaters out. We're going to put a repeater here going into a solid block, and we're going to put some dust. We're going to put a repeater down here. This repeater is going to be on 3 ticks, followed by some dust, and it should all start blinking. Grab your glass, make 3 pieces of solid glass, a lamp, and then we can put a lever on this, some dust all the way along there. That lamp's our on, off, or lock. It's our indicator lamp. We're going to go ahead and turn off the main clock. Let's continue here. We're going to make the clocks for the other 2. Where did I have the lamps on those? Okay. We need to go ahead and come swing down here. Get our lamps back. Get our observers. We don't need hoppers. We don't need crafters anymore. We do need the dust. And we are going to need the chest. So punch out these two temporary blocks and replace these with lamps. Those are the indicators that let us know the other crafters are crafting. And it just makes the machine look cool. They're not really necessary. You don't really need them. Okay. Come around to the back and place a temporary block here and then another block and break the temporary block. We're going to get a repeater, and aiming from the front of the machine, you want to place this repeater and put it on 4 ticks. Let's go over to the other side and do the same thing. Temporary block, solid block, swing around, do the repeater on 4 ticks, and then now we can do the next part. On the front of that repeater, you just want to place a solid block, crouch place another solid block, and place 2 blocks, and then break that block, break this block, put dust on here, and dust on here. We're making the clocks for the item supply. And we're going to go ahead and place torches. Those should start clocking. You're going to need to break this lamp right here. So break this lamp. Place a lamp right there. Just so we can see where that's at. That's where that lamp goes. And then have an observer looking at that lamp going into this lamp. You should have something like that. Alright. Now we can continue. We need to wire these up so that they are not blinking all the time. So what we're going to do is we're going to come around to the back. Starting right here at the end of this clock, place 3 solid blocks. Break this temporary block. Place a repeater on 1 tick, going into a solid block, and break this temporary. Well, we need that block. Place 2 blocks on this side and 2 blocks on this side. Alright, what we need to do is we need to run this wiring down to these clocks. So how we're going to do that is we're going to use glass. So get some glass and just staircase it right on down here. Just like that. You can also go ahead and place a piece of glass right there. Come around to the other side. This one's going to be a little bit different. So we're going to go right here, here, and here. So you should have something looking like this. This is going to be temporary. Those are no longer temporary. We're also going to place a block right there. Alright. And then just run dust on all the blocks that you just placed. So dust here, 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 and here. That clock should stop. And this one's going to go just like this. Place dust right there. Alright. Now we're going to make the circuit that controls whether these clocks run when the main clock is running. So that's pretty simple. We just get our solid blocks, place a solid block there and a solid block there, place a repeater, a comparator, and then a repeater going into a solid block, place 3 solid blocks right here, a repeater, with a crafter set to 6. This can be any signal strength source that you like, whether that be furnace, barrel, just put it on signal strength 6 so I can see it with my pack. We can break this temporary block. We're going to swing around to the other side and do the same thing over here. So take and put 2 solid blocks, a repeater reading out of the hopper, a comparator, then a repeater, then a solid block. 3 solid blocks, a comparator, a crafter on 6, and some dust right here to connect it all up. We can put these on subtract mode. Alright, so wait a minute. Yeah, as soon as it gets to 7, no. Those don't have to be on subtract mode. It doesn't matter. The functionality will remain the same. Okay, now we're all done with the back wiring. Let's move on to the front wiring, and we gotta wire up this final little torch tower here. So what we need to do is we need to get our double chest, place double chest right there, followed by some temporary blocks, and then bust out these 3 blocks. Let's get our hoppers. A hopper going into this temporary block, and then a hopper going in from the side, and a hopper pointing into that. So you should be able to see where all these hoppers are pointing. Make sure you're copying that. And then let's hook up our final double chest. Oh, break that. That's not supposed to be like that. Alright. It looks like we got everything done. So swing down here with the glass. And we're going to place 2 pieces of glass, followed by a comparator, going into a solid block on the face of the comparator. So there's going to be no block here. But we are going to place a temporary block, followed by a solid block, and then 3 pieces of glass going into something looking like this. Alright, so you're going to take a comparator, place it into that block, and 2 pieces of dust. Break that temporary block, come around here to the other side, and then just do a piece of dust right there. And we are all done and dusted. We can make our floor. So starting at the level of the comparator, you can just come out. This is your floor level. And then we're going to load the machine up. So what we'll do to load the machine up is I'll just throw everything out of my inventory. Oh, we still need the chests. The input chests. We get to this final point. After the floor, we'll do the input chest. Now there's going to be 1 hopper going into this side of that. And we've made a mistake here. We need to change this solid block into a piece of glass. Put the dust back on there. Come around to the other side here, and we need to change this solid block right here. We need to change that into a glass block and put the dust back on it so it doesn't power this crafter. It's going to mess our whole machine up. We're not going to set the crafters yet. This is the point where we would set the crafters, alright? So come into these crafters, and we're just going to set this one every slot except for 1. We're going to set this one over here every slot except for those 2. So just take a look and make sure that you have it like that. We're going to come up to this crafter here, the main crafter that you can't see behind the chest, and we're going to set it just like this. We're going to get some sticks and some coal. We're going to put that in there. Full stacks coal in the stick. And in this one, we're going to put wood. Oak logs should be fine. But whatever wood that you have will do. Alright. Then we're going to come over to this side. We need to place the double chest for the coal blocks. We need to also go ahead and put a hopper here on this side and a double chest. Alright, come over here to the coal crafter and block every slot except for the middle slot. And get your coal block. And we're just going to go ahead and put a stack in there to start it off. Now we need to go ahead and load. Now we can load the machine. So what you would do is you would take your logs. I'm going to summon the logs. Oak log. I want a whole shulker of those things. Let's put that in there. And then we need to do coal block. 1728. get some coal. We're going to take 4 stacks. We're going to load this hopper with 4 stacks of coal. Just the regular coal. Same thing over here, except for not coal. We're going to use sticks. 4 stacks of sticks. And we put that in there. Now our machine is ready to go. And it will make torches on a supply and demand. If we started off here, we can see that the torches do indeed start coming in fast as possible. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave a like and a comment uh, down in the comments section. Whatever I'm talking about, there's Discord. But thanks for watching. This has been your boy JD. And until next time, this has been the Torch Factory. And now you can light your way.